Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and thank you very much for joining me once again. You are most welcome as always. My last vid for the present moment, certainly to commemorate the Telford Scale Model World 2021 show, which I haven't gone to, and I'm sure a lot of you haven't either, but anyway, we thought we'd had a few vids, just a few laughs I think as well, especially those of you that saw my very poor modelling skills from about 12-15 years ago. Were very funny really, just terrible. Anyway, today we're going to try and finish on a high, and so hopefully you'll realise I'm not a complete imbecile. So I'm going to ask the question, and it isn't just about my models, I've got them out just to provoke thought really. Some of these you've seen before, there's three or four you won't have, but most of them you have. The question is, which kit that you've built has given you the most pleasure? Which is your favourite build? Now I've not got an exhaustive, I couldn't really fit them all on here. I've got two more very notable exceptions that are not here. Three really, I mean the list is going to grow. There's that McLaren Honda from Ayrton Senna's Formula 1 car. That's the Tamiya 12 scale kit. There's the Meng Messerschmitt 163B Comet, which is a brilliant kit. I didn't put out here mainly because it's a bit delicate and it's a bit crowded, as you can see. And also of course the Tamiya 12 scale Mustang, which is a really nice one. It comes in the metal finish. So those are very nice. You can see all of those if you go back 12 months and look at my Telford Alternative Scale Model World Alternative. The good, the bad and the ugly. In the good section you'll see them all. Anyway, getting back to the point though, I've got a small collection here of some of my favourites, and they're not, doesn't mean that they're the best kits per se. You may not have enjoyed them at all, but they're the ones that sort of ticked a box for me. I'm going to start off, and I'll be very brief with these. I'm not going to do a big review, in depth. Just a few words about each one really. First of all, and this might provoke your own thoughts about what you've enjoyed. I think this is one. It's not this actual finished kit, but I made one of these back in about 1973, and it is, as I'm sure you'll guess, it's by the stand, it's the Matchbox Harrier GR1. And here we are. Now, it's not the greatest kit in the world, but it has beautiful box art. It was really cheap to buy. It cost about, what was it? It was about 30 pence at the time. Sorry about the Spitfire in the background. About 30p at the time. A lovely kit though, really nice. And here I built it again in this is about 2011 I think I built this. I just wanted to do it again because I'd enjoyed it so much. I probably built 4 or 5 of these over time, mainly when I was a youngster. It's very sort of simple, straightforward build. Not the most accurate, not got the best sort of weapons, they don't look right, the matter of rockets, neb pods, but anyway. But just a nice looking little Harrier. Easy to build, and of course most of you will have seen my review on this when I did the Tale of 3 Harriers, where we compared the Matchbox 1973 one here with the 1969 I think it was, the Airfix original one, and also the recent Airfix one from about 2014 I think it is, thereabouts. And this came out very well, in fairness. But I think a lot of people have built this kit, will recognise it, especially with its stand. And it's a lovely little Harrier. Really, really like it. One of my favourites. Not a brilliant, not a perfect scale or anything. Just a fun kit. And good memories from when I was that age. Moving on. Logically, the next one that's one of my favourites is a very similar kit. It is, again, another Matchbox. It's the Phantom, the FGR2 Phantom, or F4M as they called it, and the box art. And this is one of the things that sold this kit to me was it's the box art. It's absolutely stunning. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. It shows them peeling in over the Spade Adam bombing range in Northumberland, and it shows them unleashing their rockets and missiles onto the bombing range. And here we have your Phantom. Now it's not the most accurate. Notice it's got some fairly hideous gaps actually between the wing join and the fuselage, but it's a nice Phantom, and it's easy to build. One or two other glitches, if we're going to be really critical. For some reason that decided not to include any glass here, so that would make it very drafty for the co-pilot stroke navigator at the back, but anyway. But it's, again, very similar description to the Harrier. It's of that era, 75 this came out. A nice Phantom, looks the part, you know. It's got the Vulcan Gatling gun underneath, electric cannon, absolutely brilliant. Got Sparrow missiles. What more could you want from a Phantom, you know? And again, of that era, when I first built this in about early 76, I think I first got this kit, and I built it. I built several versions. I think I did the navy version as well, with the extended nose leg, and the ladder up the side and all that stuff. A nice kit, 3 colours, cost about, it was about 75p I think at the time, and I really enjoyed it. So there you go. That's my 2 earlier ones. Then there was that, in fairness, in a similar vein, there was also the Matchbox Spitfire and the ME109. I was really into all that stuff, but you know about my Matchbox collection. A lot of you have seen that. But if you want to see the review on any of those kits, you can go see the review on these 2 right now. Just go and have a look in my channel and just put my name in, and then Matchbox Harrier, Matchbox Phantom. Moving on quickly, it's inevitable that I was going to include this kit. This is the 32nd scale Tamiya Spitfire Mk9, which I completed a couple of years ago around Christmas time. I did quite a few mods on it, 1 or 2 upgrades, nothing major, just what was it now? I'm trying to remember. So the cannons and the seat belts. Perhaps if I change my hand position, you might actually see them. Let's put it like that. Here we go. Cannons, seat belts. There we go, HCW harnesses, and the cannons were master model. I think I had the Barracuda wheels, I think they were, top wheels and tyres, and then these lovely Rolls-Royce nameplates, and I did actually have alternative fishtail exhaust, but we didn't actually fit those in the end. But I did a lot of this extra work. You can see there's a lot of additional wiring. It's not in the kit, and it is a bit lacking in that respect. The detail of the engine as it comes is brilliant, just a bit lacking in wiring and trunking. So I added all that to make it just look a little bit more scale-like, and this is the result. So if you look underneath, you can see a little bit of weathering. This is a Normandy Spitfire. It's Charlie Fox's Spitfire. This is the famous aeroplane that shot up Field Marshal Rommel's staff car, and it was based on the coast near Normandy, in Normandy, not far from Bayeux. And yeah, there we go. So that is a model that will be so familiar to so many people. I think, I'm sure a great many of you that are watching this will have built it, and if you haven't built it, you should. It's a really lovely model, just goes together beautifully. I added a few things, obviously I mentioned, like the extras. I forgot the door is an extra as well. That was not a standard one, it's actually a resin door. Zoom in again to see that. So the door with its crowbar, that's actually a resin aftermarket item. And forgive me because I can't remember the name of the company that supplied that now, it's completely gone. But yeah, a lovely Spit. What's not to like about a D-Day Spitfire, you know? So we've got the D-Day mark, invasion stripes underneath. It's the plane scheme on the top, like some of the squadrons ran. Because they didn't want to get shot from the ground, and they realised when they had air superiority they probably weren't going to get bounced from above so easy. It was all the danger was underneath. So I'm going to move that because it's quite big and it's quite delicate. I'm going to pop that just out of sight over here. Just bear with me a second. There we are. I wanted to move that one because it's so big and precious. Next one, we're almost going in order here, to be honest, of when I built them. Then we've got the Thunderbolt, this is a much underrated kit. So this is the Razorback P47 from Tamiya, 48 scale of course. This is an absolute beauty. Now this, I draw special attention, one of my all-time favourite builds, the easiest scale 1/48th aircraft warbird I've ever built. This thing just falls together. So if you're a beginner or if you're returning to the hobby, having got back interested in it during COVID pandemic, or if you just fancy something as a mojo build that's not going to drive you crazy, this is the kit for you. So let's have a look at this one. So it's got the lovely markings. It's actually an aircraft that was based at Halesworth in Suffolk in England prior to D-Day. Well, I did spin a lot easier earlier on. There we go. No, maybe I'm just not blowing it on. We've got the Indian Chief markings on the side, which is a really nice scheme. And these guys, of course, prior to D-Day, were going across to Normandy, shooting up the Germans. This is completely out of the box, by the way. There's no aftermarket on this at all. Everything you see comes in the Tamiya kit, and it is an absolute peach. Just perfect. It goes together, seamless joins. You know, it's as good as any of their latest stuff, and this has been out now for, oh, I don't know, 15, 20 years nearly. So it's not a brand new one by any stretch of the imagination, but it is an absolute corker. I really think you'd enjoy building this, and it's the same with the bubble top version. It's no different. An absolute stonking kit. Lovely details, great panel lines. All the things that should be there are where they should be. You know, it's an absolute peach. We've got nice sliding canopy. Whoops, it says sliding canopy. Sure, if you want. There you go. Brilliant. A really nice scale Thunderbolt, or jug as they used to call it. We've even got some staining. Look, we've got the fuel has leaked out a little bit there. I even bothered to do a bit of weathering on this one because it was such an easy build. I just thought that has been such good fun. It deserves a bit extra. Pay it back for the pleasure it gave me. A very, very nice model to build. Can't recommend that strongly enough. So I'm going to pop that elsewhere as well. Very gently. Step on it. Now, coming up to the more modern stuff. Going to go with the 2019 Spitfire. Now then, this is the Battle of Britain Spitfire Mk1. Mine doesn't have any markings on. You probably know the story. It's based on a slightly fictional aircraft which was in the Battle of Britain, having been stolen, and that's why it's got no markings for squadron numbers on it. But this is a lovely kit. Not the absolute best. There were one or two issues with it I wasn't entirely happy with, but we overcame those and we ended up with a really nice Battle of Britain Spit. It does fit together nicely. It does. Most of it does, especially at the wing join. The wing root is just brilliant the way they designed that. An absolute stormer. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of staining underneath, as you would see in the Battle of Britain. And we got the guns. Gun ports are open, just coming back from a sortie against the Luftwaffe, defending the British homeland. We've got the door open. There's no aftermarket on this at all. Don't think so. No, nothing at all. Just a beautiful kit. And again, if you're looking for something that's going to be, you know, everybody will look at it and admire it, then this is the one you should perhaps go for. Perhaps if you're a Brit, perhaps you want to go for that instead of the Thunderbolt. And personally, I loved them both. But that's a stonking, beautiful Spitfire. And then we come to one of my all-time favourites. I don't have a single favourite, if I'm honest. It's probably be between the Thunderbolt, because it was just so, I expected it to be tricky and it wasn't. It was perfect. And this model, which is, as I'm sure you've already guessed, it's the 2018 Tamiya 48 scale ME BF109 G6. And this is just on another level. The reason it's so good really is because of the sort of thought that went into it. They've got these open cowlings for the engine. Now, as you can see, I've mentioned this in previous videos. I have added a couple of things. There's an Edward, I think there's an instrument kit, and they've got some injection, fuel injection gizmos that are in there on the engine. Just one or two little uplifts, nothing major. We've also got the main addition is these lovely little ICM figures where we've got the mechanics working on the aircraft, as you can see. There we go. Mechanics are working away on the plane, and the beauty of it is simply this, that not only have they got these cowls open, but they decided to give you the option where you can have them closed or open, or both. Now this is where it's unusual. It's a completely interchangeable cowls. You have closed cowls, you have open cowls. So in the open position as we have here at the moment, I mean I can do it in 5 minutes but I'm not going to now, but you can see on there is a video where I actually demonstrate this in silence with some, I think some music playing in the background, and I actually swap them across, and you can see it only takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes to do it. And then you can, oops, one of the guys has just fallen off. But you can see here, if you look at the underneath of the, just below the engine, got the cowl open there. I mean, just look at that. It's absolutely stellar. And the fact that you've got this optional, you know, you've got 2 of everything, so you swap it across and you create, you know, you can change your appearance of your model on demand, which is absolutely brilliant. Now these figures, and this is the one of the guys, it's the ICM mechanic, got 2 of them working on the plane at the moment. Oops, this guy's got his screwdriver out, as you can see. And the other one is standing. I'm not going to disturb the guy because he's standing and working very hard there trying to get this misfire. I think he's got a misfire problem with this plane. So we're going to pop that in the background there. See if we can just get him back in. There we go. How's that? It's an absolute peach, this model. I recommend this to you. It's about £33 to £35 in the UK. You may be able to pick it up cheaper. If you do, please go ahead because you will not be disappointed. It also comes with cannon bewlers for under the wing. You've got the option of having the ground attack version with the big cannons, 30mm cannons, aren't they, under the wings, and that's very cleverly done. There's lots of innovation in the kit. How to set the undercarriage is also cleverly thought out in a way you can't get wrong. Same with the alignment of these gun bewlers under these. So that, I say bewlers. They're not bewlers, are they? What do they call them? Like a gun pod. They sit basically beneath the something to do with canoes, isn't it? They look like a canoe. Anyway, they sit beneath the wing, but you cannot get the alignment wrong. It's very, very clever. Anyway, there we go. So that's all the aircraft. I say there are others, plenty of other ones that are in this category. As mentioned, the Mustang and the Comet. What else? The Mosquito that we talked about a couple of days ago. I showed that for the first time. Some nice ones. But now, finally, I'm just going to turn to something that's a bit different, and I think has always had a bit of a special place in my heart. Not any more special than what we've seen, but just different. And it's the Matchbox Armor range. So we have here, I'm just going to move these plates out of the way. We've got here a selection of just 6 of them, and I've got about 10 I think in the cabinet. These are 6 of my favourites, so let's zoom you in. Now, if none of you have ever built these Matchbox kits, then now you can get them still under the Revell brand. A lot of these are still readily available. But they're just nice because they come with this little diorama, and that makes them very special, and still nobody today is doing this. Obviously Matchbox went out of business in the mid-80s in their original Lesney form, and it just adds something to them. You know, you look at the way it gives that added realism. You end up with a diorama scene, not just a tank or an armoured car, you know. It just gives you something a little bit extra, doesn't it? There's the Comet. I should talk you through this. That's the A34 Comet, British tank. That's the American half-track with the anti-aircraft guns on it. Obviously we have the Sherman Firefly on the bridge. Then we've got something which our American friends will like. It's the Chaffee, which is a very high-speed little American tank used toward the end of World War II. And this one has got the little tribute to, it's a little nod to Elliot Gould, who sadly died, passed away in I think late February, early March. and I wanted to do this little bridge at Remagen sort of tribute, because this tank was in the movie. So in a nod to the film, I put the Remagen bridge sign up there, and the Chaffee is racing for the bridge to try and get it before the Germans can basically blow it up. So I'm just going to move a couple of these out now so we can see the others easily, because there are two more which I think are definitely worth looking at, and they are the Humber armoured car, which I always really like. Again, this is another one that has wonderful artwork, and you've got this little guy peeping out. Something they should have done more of, actually, having a figure animated, you know, in the actual kit, which this really does add something, doesn't it? And then, yeah, one of my all-time favourites amongst these actually was the T-34, the Russian T-34, where you see it sort of crashing through a fence, which I think is really cool. The lights on, give it a bit more light. How's that? Yeah, the T-34 is blasting through the fence. You've got the little Russian soldier there running ahead, the infantryman with it, and giving it a little bit of scale realism. Just adds a little something, doesn't it? Turn it around, you can see the infantryman a little bit better. Just gives it that feel of not just an inanimate model, but it gives it a three-dimensional sort of quality to it, and a feel of something a little bit more special. So there's just a selection really of the ones that are my sort of most affectionate builds, if you like, the ones I've enjoyed the most. And you know, these little tanks, just little characters all their own really, especially like the Russian one and the armoured car and the T-34. That's probably the three favourites, along with the Remagen bridge Chaffee, you know. So the question is, what's your favourite? Please comment below and tell me. It doesn't matter what scale it is or what the subject is, it's absolutely fine, anything you like. But just just share with us what your favourites have been and why. Was it because it was easy to do? Was it because the way it looked when it was finished? Was it something that was fairly plain and ordinary and a bit boring, but you did a diorama to enhance it, bring it up to make it something really special? I think we can all learn new ideas from each other, and I'm sure that people, I've had comments about one or two of mine. I've got all these figures now, especially the German ground crew and the German infantry type figures and the armour, as you saw in the 135th tank video. We all look at this stuff and think, oh yeah, that gives me an idea, I could do such and such. So what is your favourite? You know, is it a Spitfire or a Focke-Wulf 190? Is it a jet, tank, racing car, motorbike? What then? Please comment below, because there'll be all ears. I'm sure other people that are enjoying this vid and would like to have a look at these kits. We all like to see each other's work, I think, don't we? And that's obviously not going to Telford this year, one thing we're missing out on. So I thought I'd just share a few of mine. At least we've ended with a few that look half decent. Not some of the disasters I showed you the other day. But let me know in your comments below, what do you think? Did you enjoy the video? What's your favourite and why? And if you've got favourite 2 or 3, you can list them. By all means, go ahead. Always very interesting to read this stuff, and gives us a clue and a hint as to if other people have enjoyed it, we might enjoy it too. We might go out and buy one of those. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Ding the notification bell if you haven't done that, because you'll get early warning of the next video coming up. Hope you enjoyed the shows. Sorry we couldn't all go to Telford this year, but I hope this helped to make up for it and give you some ideas. Thank you very, very much for your time. Until next time, stay safe, take care. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.